Howdy, and welcome to the channel. And today we're going to be going over this new Ryobi tool. It's the TriPower Tripod LED Light. So big thanks to Taylor, my local TTI rep at my Home Depot, who spent a while with me trying to find this. It just got through getting off the truck, and he and I searched, and he managed to find it for me. So big thanks, and let's go ahead and get into this. So what makes this one unique is that it's TriPower, and all that means is that you can hook up an 18 volt, a 40 volt, or you can plug it into the wall, and it can use all three of those to power this unit. So no matter what type of battery you have, you can operate this light, or you can plug it in. Now this particular tripod can actually have different accessories put on the top. It's sold with a 3800 lumen LED light that actually articulates at the top, and we'll show you that here in just a little bit. It can go all the way up to 7 foot. At the top of this, we have a 135-degree pivoting head, so no matter what you're doing, you should be able to take that and rotate it around. Now while the light itself has a maximum output of 3800 lumens, you can actually put it on medium, which is 2300 lumens, low, which is 1300 lumens, and you could actually light up a single panel, which only produces 800 lumens. But depending on what you're doing, that may be perfect, especially if you're looking to run the batteries a really long time. If you're in a storm, that would be great. Now the other nice thing about this light is it actually shines out up to 360 degrees around. So you can put this in the center of your room and get light everywhere. So at the top of this tripod, they have the typical 18 volt battery plug-in. So anything that would fit up there that is compatible with that should be able to work on this without a problem. So Ryobi states that if you're using the light in the 360 degree mode, the 18 volt 6 amp hour battery can run it on high for 3.5 hours, can run it on medium for 6 hours, or low for 11 hours. But if you're running one of the 800 lumen single panels, then it's actually going to go for 15 hours. And again, that's on the 6 amp hour battery. However, if you're going to run this off 40 volt with a 6 amp hour battery, if you run it on high 360 degrees, that's 7 hours worth of runtime. On medium, it's 11.5. On low, it's 21 hours. And a single 800 lumen panel, you can run this for 25.5 hours. So now looking at this light, you can see that it has articulated panels on it. So you can actually take these and flip them up. Now the nice thing about having the ability to flip them up is it will give you indirect light. As we all know, especially with LEDs, you look into them and it like really hurts your eyes. This takes that out of it, because if you're using this in a home, you can simply take this and shine it up on the ceiling, and that will give you that indirect reflective light back down. So it's actually going to make the light a lot easier on your eyes. So if you do want a single panel that faces down, you can actually rotate a single panel and rotate it to the direction that you need, whatever it may be. And with this, you can actually use this as a regular flashlight or area light. You don't have to have it hooked up to the tripod. So if you want to use it that way, and we're going to go ahead and flip these up so we don't blind our camera, you can simply press the power button, and the first time you press it, you're going to have high. This is a 3200 lumens, so it's extremely bright. You press it a second time, you're going to go to medium. Press the button a third time, now you're going to be on low. Press it one more time, you have one panel that stays on. Now it's always going to be the one that's by the power button, and the other three are going to be turned off. But that gives you the ability to run one panel alone for 800 lumens. Now the nice thing about this is it also comes with a hook on top. So if you're not using this, you can actually take this hook and flip it up, and then you can hang the light wherever you need to hang the light at. Now there is one additional special feature with this light. Let's say you're using the light, but you no longer need to use it. So you have it facing up, and you're using it for during a storm, and you're done with the light. The electricity came back on, you're ready to turn it off. Most people will sit there and push the button and cycle all the way through all of the cycles until it turns off. Well, you don't have to do that. If you simply press the button and hold it for a long enough period, it will completely shut off. And it doesn't matter what setting you can be on. If you're on medium and you long press that button, it is going to turn itself off. Same thing with low, same thing with the single panel, although why do it with the single panel? Just press it once and it'll be off. A lot of forethought with that. Thank you, Ryobi. Now the tripod itself, this is actually the heart part of the unit. The light, while really nice, is not the special feature of this. It is this right here. This is what has us the ability to do 18 volt, 40 volt, or plug-in hybrid. Now, to extend the feet so that we make it stable, we're simply going to pull the lever itself. We're going to hold the rod, and then we're going to push the feet down and out, and then we're going to lock it. Now, you will notice that there is a bubble level that is on top. Whenever you do stuff like this, you want to do the best that you can to make it as level as you can, because as we all know, if something is tipped sideways and you come along and bump it, then it can fall. If little kids are around and you're in a thunderstorm, then the kids can get hurt, or you can break the tool that's sitting on top, and that can be very expensive. Let's go ahead and take this and let's extend it all the way up. Now, I will say, extending this for the first time, these clamps are really firm on here. So I don't see that this is going to have an issue with something really heavy. I am pushing on this thing hard, and if I push on it hard enough, I can get it to go down. But you should never have a tool on top of this that is heavy enough to cause it to fall down, because if you do, then it's going to be very top heavy. Even with the wide legs that it has, it's going to be very prone to tipping over, especially with a little bit of bump. Center of gravity, it is a thing. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pull this down, and I'm gonna put the light on the top of it so we can see how it actually goes on. And on the top, you can see that we have a standard Ryobi battery connector on here. And we're just going to put the light directly on top of that. Then we can take our battery, and on the tripod itself, we can install an 18 volt battery, or we can pull that out and we can install a 40 volt battery, or we can pull that out, and right down in here, you'll see that there is a standard plug for North America that you can simply take and plug into the wall. And there we go. Same thing as before. Everything's working great. Let's go ahead and remove our 18 volt, and we're gonna drop in our 40 volt, and now we're gonna do the same thing. And now we're gonna pull out this, and let me grab an extension cord, and we're gonna plug it into the wall real quick. Now this next part is probably pretty obvious for a lot of people, but just wanna make sure that it's covered. With the receptacle that is on this unit, it is looking for something like a typical extension cord end. Something like this grounded unit is going to work great. It's not looking for a tri or a double extension cord. It will not actually stick within the receiver. Okay, so we now have our extension cord here, and we're going to plug it in. Now the nice thing about this is it doesn't actually matter which way you put it. The converter that's in here will take care of it no matter which way it is. But now that we have it plugged in, we're gonna go ahead and turn on our light, and there we go. Now to prove what I was just talking about, I'm gonna unplug it, and I'm gonna flip this 180 degrees, plug it back in. We're going back up to the top, and there we go. So now that you've attached this and you've used it and you're done with it, and you'll notice that it does a really good job of staying on. How do you get it disconnected? Well, for that, we have a nice little lever here on the side, and you can see we have a unlock. We simply take the gray lever, push it over, and simply pull out on the unit. Now this does allow you to actually tilt it. You simply loosen up the thumb screw, and you can actually rotate it a little past 90 degrees. However, it only tilts one direction. It will not go back the other way. And the easiest way to know which direction it will go is you have a flat side with a hard 90-degree turn. It will not go past that. Then on the other side, you have a nice beveled curve on it. That is where the head is going to be rotating it at. So don't try to shove it, because you will end up breaking this if you're pushing hard enough. It's not designed to go both ways. So now that we've used the light on it, what else can we put on this thing? Well, I have a few tools behind me, so let me go ahead and hook up some different ones, and let's see if they work or not. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the 40 volt, because why not? And I'm gonna pop it in here. Let's go ahead and start with the radio, and let's see if the radio will power on.
Power on.
There we go. Radio will power on, not a problem. Let's see if we can get this fan, which funnily enough, this is actually hybrid as well, but why not? Let's see if we can get this to work. Hey, that works great. No problems there. Let me try this spotlight. I love these lights. They work really, really good. Go ahead and connect it up. And there we go. Let's go ahead and let's try an oscillating tool. Not that you would be using it on here, but will it work? Wow. Wow. That is interesting. Not that you would use it for this, but it will not power an oscillating tool. Let me go ahead and pull out the 40 volt, and I'm gonna slap in an 18 volt. Let's try it with that. Now obviously, again, this is not what it's designed to do, but that's very interesting that the 40 volt didn't have the initial peak output to start something like this. Let me try it plugged in and see how that works. Let's go ahead and see if we can get it to work off that. Aha, as we increase, it eventually shuts itself off. Now, obviously I'm doing this in jest, and the reason I am doing this in jest is because, one, I think it's kind of funny. However, I've been in enough job sites in my life that I could actually see somebody picking this thing up, putting the tool on it, and pushing it way up in the air because it's 8 foot tall that they need to drill a hole, and they do something like this. It happens all the time. Let me grab a drill and let's see if a drill will work. Here we have my old blue. Now currently we are plugged into the outlet. Same thing. It does not have enough to actually get the drill going. Even if you go slow, you can start it going, but as soon as you start trying to pull a lot of amperage, it's going to shut itself off. Let me drop in the 40 volt. Same thing. Okay, let's try the 18 volt.
Fook me, that was fast.
Now, I'm not surprised about the 18 volt because in theory, it should simply pass that 18 volt up to it. Why does it do it with the 40 volt and with the plug-in? It's a very specific reason. All of that is going through circuits on the inside of this unit. That circuitry is bringing the voltage down and the amperage down to where it's supposed to be for an 18 volt product. Because of that, it's drawing too much through those circuits. So in order to save the circuits from overheating, it is shutting itself down. That's very smart of Ryobi to do something like that. So if you are one of those people who is on a job site, and I don't recommend this, but you've got something 8 foot up in the air, you could technically put a zip tie on a drill, connect this with an 18 volt battery, and extend it way up there and try to do what you think is smart. Just go grab a freaking ladder. You're gonna save yourself so much time and hassle than trying to do it this way. Now, whenever you're done with the tool, no matter which item you have on the top, you simply remove the top item, and then we're going to pull the lever open on the bottom, and then we're going to pull our legs up. We're going to close our lever, and now we are ready to carry this unit around. And it has handles on all 3 legs, so it's very simple to carry this. As long as you have it locked, the legs will not open. They'll pull out a little bit, but they're not gonna open all the way. Now, if you wanna store this in your shop, if you have a hook, you can actually put a hook underneath here and hang that. But there is no specific area for you to actually put something to hang this on the wall. However, if you have a 3D printer, you actually have an 18 volt and a 40 volt. And you could technically take one of your 18 volt 3D printed items and you could technically mount it. Now this one isn't gonna work because it's a 45, but if you get a flat one, you can do that and actually mount it up on a pegboard or something similar. So who is this tool intended for? Well, first of all, it's definitely intended for homeowners. This is great if you're in some of those areas of the world that have storms that come through once a year that's gonna knock out your power. This would work very well at giving like a living room a lot of light so that you can see what you're trying to do. And actually, I would go so far as to say this would be great on a job site.
What?
Now, not everybody carries Ryobi on a job site, and I understand that. If you don't want to, fine, that's not a problem, but there are people who do that. And if you're one of those people and you're completely out and it's dark, this would work great. You can set it up. You don't have to worry about somebody walking in front of the light. You can simply take that light and extend it up, and now all of the workers can move around while this is pointed up in the air, illuminating the entire room, and you can do your job. If they're on the ground, at some point, somebody's going to stand in front of it. That's going to block your light. If you're doing some kind of plastering and you're in the middle of doing a pull up the plaster wall and somebody steps in front of the light and completely blocks it, you know how much of a headache that is. This would help solve that issue for you. And I know that there are a lot of people out there who say Ryobi doesn't belong on a job site, but a lot of those same people secretly have them in their trunk, or they have them under their car seat, or they have them at home. So don't say that you can't have Ryobi at a job site, because you can.
How about new?
And something like this is proof that it's a great tool and will be able to help you in a time of need. So that goes over the new Ryobi TriPower tripod. Thank you very much for coming along and going over all of the features and what tools it can run and can't run. I appreciate you checking out this video and staying all the way to the end. If you have any questions about this or any of the tools that are behind me or any of the previous videos, please be sure to leave it in the comments below. I love talking with you all and having those great conversations, especially wonderful comments like this one. Thank you very much for leaving that comment, and thank you very much for watching.